slide.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Am I audible, Didi?
Yes, you are audible, but I could not make it clear. It was not clear.
Yeah, 1 second, Didi. I'm just streamlining to go on live on YouTube.
Okay.
It's just, I mean, I could only see that. Like once it is done, I'll just give you go for a second slide.
Okay.
Right, right, Didi. Can you see now?
Yes.
Second slide.
Slide is not there. I want the PPT to be shared.
1 second, Didi.
Okay. Okay. Take your own time. There's no hurry.
Can you see the slide now?
No, I think it is not there. Okay.
Okay.
ఈ స్క్రీన్ క్లోజ్ చేయండి ఉష గారు.
ఒక్క నిమిషం సార్, అది పాతది యూట్యూబ్ లో పెడుతున్నాను కదా, యూట్యూబ్
అయిపోయింది, అది అయిపోయింది, క్లోజ్ చేసేయండి, అది విండో లైవ్ ఆన్ యూట్యూబ్ అని వస్తుంది, అది క్లోజ్ చేసేయండి.
రైట్.
Right. Right. It is not clear. It is. You have-
Yeah. Can
Okay.
you see the slide now?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Sorry for the delay.
It's okay. It's okay, Usha. So the World Mental, the WHO has given its definition for health as it is a physical, social, and mental well-being, but not a mere disease or absence of disease or infirmity. That means not only not having any disease or infirmity, it is the wellness, physical wellness, at the same time mental wellness and the social wellness of an individual, right? That means there are three dimensions involved in our health. Not only physical dimension, there is also a mental health dimension and social health dimension. Social dimension, what is this? Physical health, we all know, proper working of our each and every cell in a human being, in a human organism, is physical health. Okay, proper working of organ systems and all the cells. Okay, then what is this mental health? Mental health dimension, let us see what is this mental health. It is the ability to respond to varied experiences of life with flexibility and sense of purpose. So let us all think what we are trying to do in our daily tasks, in our daily whatever we are facing in our daily situations. See, when a small thing is occurring to us, a small disturbance. So, for example, just now we had a power cut because of the heavy rain. We have planned many things, right? And then suddenly this power cut, we didn't expect this power cut. So it has created a stress in our mind, right? Am I right? It has created some stress in our mind because whatever we have planned, it is not going to happen. There is a disturbance in it. We feel that we what we are trying to achieve, we could not achieve. This is creating a stress on our mind, and now this stress is not making us sit calm, be at peace, right? So this is a smaller issue which we have faced just now. And there are many other issues we will be facing in our day-to-day life activities. And how we are going to react with them, how we are able to cope up with the situations, and how peacefully we are living with all these experiences in our day-to-day life and carrying them and keeping ourselves cool and perfect with emotionally and as well as the physically. This is the mental dimension. So let us all think about this mental aspect as well. Whenever we are facing a situation, please try to think about that situation and our reaction at the same time. Okay, so is it compatible? Both are in par with each other or not? Let us, we have that much of time, right, for ourselves. We can think about it and respond to the situation. Okay, there's no need to react to the situation. Instead, you can respond to the situation. And now, what is the social dimension? Social health dimension. Social health dimension is nothing but the quality and the quantity of individual interpersonal ties and the extent of involvement with the community. It is not only maintaining the relationship with our family members or friends or the society or the community at a major level, and it not only maintaining the relationships, it is also the involvement, how we are taking part in our social activities, how well we are having that relationship and maintaining that relationship, and going along with the community makes a major impact on our health as well. So these three dimensions are as important as each other. So let us take care of these three things. If we take care of these three things, then we can be called as healthy person, healthy individual. What India needs the more now. So you might be amused to listen to the comment I have read, right? India needs the healthy people. Means India, we call India as a young country, right? But then, and at the same time, I'm talking about the health of the individuals, physical, mental, and social health of the individuals. And I'm asking to take care of these three things at the individual level, to the community level, and to the country level at a major aspect. So then please think about it. What is that we are lagging behind? Why is that we are lagging behind? So shall we move on to the next slide, Usha? Let us see the statistics actually. Why I made this comment. The India's, you all know the population of India. It is very huge population, densely populated, small country. Though it is a young country, it is having many mental health mental illnesses among the people. Let us see the statistics. You will be feeling very awkward by seeing all these things. Is it real? No, it is really real. 7.5% of the Indian population is suffering with some kind of mental disorder. We all know, like, mental disorders ranging from sadness to depression to bipolar disease to anxiety, PTSD. There are many mental health issues, schizophrenia, borderline disorder, personality disorders. There are many mental health illnesses we are having. 7.5%. Out of 1.3 billion people, 7.5% of the people means, you please try to calculate, and the number you will find it very amused to know about this. Okay, so please try to understand the severity and intensity of how we are, how mentally healthy we are. Okay, Indians especially. So 50% of the people are clinical depression has been seen in 50% in the last 8 years. Clinical depression, only 50% has been recorded, right? The remaining 50%, not known. Depression, clinical depression, 50% it is. Half of the population, that means 3 in 6, if 3 in 6 persons are having the clinical depression. In the last 8 years, it has been recorded like this. And aged people, elderly people who are suffering from depression, it is about 21.9%. Okay, 34% of people, it is depression is most common among 34%, and bipolar, it is to some extent, we have seen many mental issues like anxiety, PTSD, and bipolar disorder, depression, mania, schizophrenia. There are many mental health issues, among which depression is most common, and the least common one is bipolar disorder. Okay, so I have seen many people saying that they have consulted a psychiatrist because they have certain mental health issue, and they were being diagnosed as bipolar disorder patients with type bipolar disorder. But then they refuse taking medicines because they feel that they get addicted to the medicines prescribed by the psychiatrist. And there are many other side effects. They complain that there are many other side effects which they are facing. That's why they are stopping taking the medication. So, and now 20% of the mothers, new mothers, are battling with postpartum depression. Young mothers who have delivered their babies, 20% of those young mothers are battling with postpartum depression. Tell me how the child will be reared if the mother is having mental depression. If she is having a depression, can she give her fullest to the child? She can't do justice to, she can't give her full to the child in bringing the child up. And what happens to the child? We all know, right? The child is grown up in a disturbed family, and how the mentality, how the personality of the child will be in future. He will also have the similar kind of mental health issues as the atmosphere he has grown is like that. So the atmosphere, the environment in which the child is growing up makes an impact on the child's psychology, psychiatry as well. So please, this shows 20% of the mothers, new mothers, are having postpartum depression. Understand the seriousness of the issue, why we should take care of our mental health. So it is at the individual level, it is the responsibility of every individual. It is the responsibility of every individual to take care of their mental health along with the physical health. Now coming to the corporate employees, 42.5% of the corporate employees, they are suffering with stress and anxiety. Maybe their work pressure, maybe their timings, maybe whatever it can be, the family relationships or anything it can be. There are 42.5% who are suffering with stress and anxiety. How drastic the situation is. Don't you think that there is a need to come out of this mental health illness for everyone, every individual? Give a thought about it. Okay. So out of 10 people in India suffer from stress. It can be any type of stress, financial stress, relationship stress, educational stress, competition. It is also a stress. What not? One out of 10 Indians suffer with stress. And we have seen the people, severe stress is found among 18 to 34 years of age. See, we have to discuss about this now. We call India as a young country. India is filled with the people, young generation, young blood, which has got a lot of strength and stamina to bring our country to the highest position in the world. But then this is the situation prevailing in Indians. 18 to 34 years of age is the most productive age among the people. After 18, they start slowly, they get into graduation, and the people get into graduation, post graduation, or enter into the jobs, maybe employment, and earn. They give their part to the society. Though they might be earning for themselves, it is for their livelihood, but then they are serving the society directly or indirectly. This income, whatever they are earning, it is an economy to our country, right? So in this age, 18 to 34, people are suffering with stress. 95% of the people. So if we are in stress, please tell me our reactions towards the situations or our reactions towards everything in the life, whatever is happening in day-to-day life. Please tell me, how do we react? It's a question. What is a bipolar disorder? Okay. The mood swings, there are extreme mood swings. Sometimes the person is maniac, sometimes the person is totally depressed, and he might be getting the thoughts of ending his life as well. So this is bipolar disorder. We can't predict when his mood will be maniac or hyperactive, or when his mood will be down. So this is a bipolar disorder, mental disorder. It has to be treated with medication and as well as the psychological counseling and therapy. Okay. So I was asking you some question, right? So this condition of Indians, our Indians, has to be given a serious thought, and let us take up the responsibility for ourselves to get out of all these mental health issues. Join the hands. This is the main aim of World Mental Health Day this year. We are joining the hands for mental health awareness, and at the same time, it is our right to come out of this mental illness. Everyone's right to come out of this mental health illness. Okay. So please try to think about it seriously. So there is a severe need to come out of this. When you are aware that someone who is related to you, either your friend or a family member or a neighbor, who is having certain mental health illness, when you observe that there are certain symptoms, when you could find out that there is a disturbance in his life pattern, then please try to help him out. Please educate him and try to make him go to a counselor or a therapist or a psychiatrist. According to the situation, he should also take up the responsibility to get out of this mental health issue. Okay. So can we move on to the next slide, Usha? Yeah. WHO has described India as the world's most depressing country. Okay. We are good in this. Sarcastically, I'm telling you. That means, please try to understand the severity, intensity. This is how the people in India are suffering. The mental condition of Indians. Please go through these 10 points. I will discuss about these things. India's contribution to the global suicides in 2016 was as high as 36 among 100 ladies, among 100 women. 36.6 women from India has committed suicide, and 24.3%, 24.3 men has committed among the world's 100 people. This is the statistics. Please see, identify, observe, understand how depressed we are, how mentally ill we are. We are, though physically we are strong, we have everything, we are energetic maybe, but then there is, as WHO has described, India is the world's most depressing country. It is evident through the statistics, right? 36.6% of people, women, have committed suicide in 2016, and of the world who have committed suicide, among the people who have committed suicide, 24.3% of men. Understand the severity, and please start thinking about the seriousness of our mental health condition. India has approximately, now coming to the reality, India has approximately 5,000 psychiatrists and 2,000 clinical psychologists, whereas 1.37 billion population is there. We are 1.37 billion population, and only 5,000 psychiatrists and 2,000 clinical psychologists. See the scenario. In other words, not even one psychiatrist or psychologist for 1 lakh mental health patients. Dearth of the need is there, right? So please try to understand the seriousness, and at the same time try to understand the facilities available in our country to overcome this mental health illness. There is a total lack of awareness about mental health and permissible and impermissible behavior, as well as the signs of mental illness. And so this is the condition. We are having only 5,000 psychiatrists and 2,000 psychologists, clinical psychologists. And what is happening with the people? They are not aware of their mental health issues, and maybe they are thinking that it is quite natural because of the situation they are facing, and they don't think that it is a real illness at all. So we are neglecting our mental health. Indians are neglecting our mental health. Irrational fear, jealousy, suspicion, rage, anger, violence, these can be the manifestations of all the mental disorders. So this helps us to identify someone who is having all these things. Suspicion. If a person is suspicious about his wife, he says that his wife has mixed some poison in his food and she's trying to feed it. Or the wife, the person, neighbor is doing black magic to kill him. We are all observing all these things in the TV news, right? So this suspicion, rage, anxiety, rage is killing the people. Anger to a maximum level, and he is trying to kill the other people. Anxiety, violence, these are all the manifestations of mental disorder. We are daily watching people in and around ourselves, but then we are not considering them as they are having mental disorder. We even don't consider them as the people with mental disorder, right? Because we think that he is in some rage, he has some grudge on that person, so he's trying to kill the person. But then it is a mental disorder. We ourselves are not identifying the person around us, right? So please try to get this awareness. People around us may look normal, but we may be in need of personal help as well. We observe them, but still we don't feel, we don't think, and we can't be ready to help them, give or provide our help to that person. Many factors are influencing in it. And coming to the domestic violence, violence against women and children, violent behavior may also be the signs of stress. So this violence, whatever it may be, it is the root cause of this violence may be stress. That's what we were discussing. 95% among 18 to 34 years of age are having this stress. I asked you, what will be the behavior of those people who are in stress? You know, how they react, how they behave about with the situations which they are facing in their lives. So please grasp this seriousness. Okay, so a follow-up of crime is poor in India. It is largely unknown how many of the rapes and murders and assaults are caused by mental illness. We see generally, we come across many news about these violence or crimes which are occurring in our society. But then are we really thinking whether they are mentally healthy or not? No, we are not. We are just discussing about it. We are for long hours, even in TV shows, TV news, they are for their TRP, increasing their TRP rates. They are doing all these discussion, but then ultimately, what is the result? Nothing, right? We are not identifying any mental illness among the people who are doing these crimes. We are just ignoring the facts. Everyone. So let us start realizing it, and let us start thinking about it, and let us make the others aware of this. This is our responsibility, okay, at the community level or the society level. So I think even a feeling of hate destabilize mental peace, and that's true, sir. That's true. Yes, you are right, sir. So mental cases of mental illness are routinely underreported because of the stigma attached to the illness. Popular culture, including films, have created stereotypes which are hard to remove. Even the movies, they have made their own impact on the lives. Okay, we can't change certain things. It has become like a belief system for us all. So, and there is a underreporting of these mental health illnesses because of the stigma, maybe. Okay, so please analyze all these things in your mind and understand the seriousness. Think about it and identify our responsibility towards ourselves and towards the society at the maximum level. Okay, so shall we move on to the next slide, Vishal? So why we are not really moving ahead to take care of our mental illness and come out of our mental illness? There are many factors involved in it. See, we are mental health care deficiency of lack of implementation and state policies. So when this COVID situation has arisen, the government has taken many measures to control it and to prevent the spread of the pandemic. And why the government has not taken any such measures to curb the mental illness among the people in India, though it knows that this is the severity of the Indian population, and even the world is under the crisis. Mental health in mental health issues. The world is also facing the similar situations, right? So, why there are not there these implementations about the state policies and initiatives about the mental health? Madam, you have rightly identified the role of movies in inculcating cruelty, and that's fine, sir. Thank you. Okay, so and even community participation is not there. Coordination, lack of coordination at different levels. We are generally observing why we are not taking care of ourselves about our mental health. These are the factors, and the medical health resources are not available. As we have observed, 5,000, only 5,000 psychiatrists are there, and 2,000 clinical psychologists are there, but 1.37 billion people in India. And poor attitudes, they feel that it is quite okay for them, and the other person he is having the problem, not he, right? If someone says that you are having anger issues, he'll feel that you are ready, always ready to point me out. I don't have any issue, you feel it. It is your headache, it is not my headache. So they are denying, they behave denial. This is the poor attitude, right? Lack of knowledge, literacy rate, maybe, and at the same time, knowledge about awareness about the mental health issues, mental health, and even the lack of training for the mental healthcare healthcare providers like doctors, nurses, primary healthcare center, administration, anyone it can be. So they also are not having any awareness and training to educate the other people around them. So this is how it has got its own effect on the mental health. And now coming to the socio-economic burden on mental health issues. Stigma is there. If a person who is having mental illness, if he approaches a psychiatrist, the neighbors, what will they do? They talk about him, right? Stigma. वो पागल है, पागल डॉक्टर के पास गया. पागल डॉक्टर कौन है? साइकियाट्रिस्ट है. पागल डॉक्टर, mental doctor. So who is lacking this? Modesty. The people who are talking about it, and which is making them, the person who is really suffering with his mental health issue is not going to the approaching the psychiatrist or the therapist because of this stigma. And even gender plays a major role. Both the genders are getting affected, but then no one is trying to approach the doctor. Females are facing more depression, males are facing more anxiety issues, stress is there. But then they are not approaching the doctor. Okay. And at the same time, economic cost of the treatment is also high, so they are not approaching the doctor. Maybe the therapist or the psychiatrist is charging more, which is not uh, comfortable for the pockets of the patients. So World Mental Doctor is perceived negatively by the society. True, sir. That is why the people are not approaching the psychiatrist, even though they know that there is a problem with them. The patients, the persons, individuals, they themselves know, identified their issues, but then they are not ready to go to the doctor. Why? Because they are afraid of being called, named, and commented on it. So this is how it is affecting our mental health, and society should also try to understand this, and they should not point out someone who is trying to get well, get treated. Okay. When a person is not feeling well physically, if he is having headache, he can directly go to the doctor and he is going and getting the medication for that. He is resolving it. If he is still his headache is not reduced, he will go and get it diagnosed properly. CT scan, MRI scan, every other assessment he can get it done. No one is going to talk about him at his back. They feel sorry for him because he's having that headache, and so he's going to the doctor and he's trying to get out of this headache. So he's going getting his test done properly, and even they will suggest him to go to particular doctor. He has treated well करके बोलते हैं. But then when the person is into depression, they will not suggest him to go for a counselor or a psychiatrist. Why? The other individual also knows that he is having this mental health issue. Still, they will not tell, they will not suggest. They will tell something like, it is quite natural in this situation, you can come out of it. It is very easy for them to talk it lightly. But if we are going to take it, no. Talking is different and taking it to the heart or mind is different. So, no, don't please try to stop. So if some people are telling that it is quite okay, you will get well after some time. This is a quite natural natural behavior because of the situation. So please don't stop the person, and you encourage the person to get the proper treatment. Okay. So beliefs and explanations and help-seeking behaviors like no non-medical explanation of mental illness. That's what I was telling. If the person is into depression after some grief, or if the person has lost his loved one or a spouse, or he failed in a relationship, let us consider these cases. He will be into some sadness. Generally, people come out of this sadness after some time, but some people, they succumb to this situation They get into depression, more and more into the depression, and they feel worthless, helpless, and hopeless, and they even feel like committing suicide. The extent to which they are going, I'm trying to explain it to you. And the people around him will tell that it is quite natural because you are feeling lonely. That's why you are getting this thought. So you better move on and you come out of your room and you go and do your work. Call your friends. This is quite easy to give some advice. But then what exactly is happening in his mind, no one is trying to understand that. And no one is correctly guiding that person to go for a psychiatric checkup. The person is suffering till he commits suicide. And the pain, the emotional pain goes to the extent to which it is not bearable to that person. That's why he's trying to commit suicide. The next thing is easy accessibility of traditional healing resources. My maid, she got this jaundice. I was surprised to hear from that girl. She went to she asked me leave and she went to her village. Why? She wanted to have that leaf medicines. పసర్ మందు అంటారు చూడండి, పసర్ ఆకు పసర్ తోటి మందు అంట, అది జాండీస్కి ఉపయోగిస్తున్నారు. ఏంటి ఆయుర్వేదిక్ వాళ్ళు ఇస్తారు, బాగుంది. బట్ నేను అడిగాను, ఐ ఆస్క్ దట్ లేడీ, who is that person who is giving you this medicine, taking out from the leaf extractions? Is she or he a qualified doctor, ayurvedic doctor అని అడిగాను. కాదమ్మా, ఆయనకి వాళ్ళు తరతరాల నుంచి వాళ్ళ తాతలు కూడా అదే పని చేసేవాళ్ళు, వీళ్ళు కూడా అదే పని చేస్తున్నారు. వాళ్ళు చేతి మందు ఆకు మందు ఇస్తే అది తగ్గిపోతుందమ్మా జాండీస్, playing with their liver. And now about this traditional healing of mental health, mental illnesses, చేతబడి చేశారంటే దానికి విరుగుడు. విరుగుడు చేస్తే మెంటల్ ఇల్నెస్ తగ్గిపోతుందా? ఎందుకు వచ్చింది మెంటల్ ఇల్నెస్? దెర్ ఇస్ అ ఫిజియలాజికల్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ ఇన్ ద బ్రెయిన్. దెర్ ఆర్ న్యూరో ట్రాన్స్మిటర్స్ డిక్రీజ్ అవటమో ఇంక్రీజ్ అవటమో, అక్కడ బ్రెయిన్లో చేంజెస్ రావటమో జరుగుతుంది. దాని మూలంగా డిప్రెషన్ వెళ్తున్నారు, యాంగ్జైటీకి గురవుతున్నారు. దే ఆర్ ట్రైంగ్ టు కమిట్ సూసైడ్. బట్ దెన్ నో వన్ ఈస్, maybe they have identified, yes, maybe हो सकता है, लेकिन but then is it a good treatment for jaundice? Aren't they playing with their liver if something happens to their liver? So even for mental illnesses, they are approaching the people like this. విరుగుడు, ఆమె దగ్గరికి వెళ్తే మంత్రం వేస్తుంది, దిష్టి పోతుంది. नजर लग गया उसको, उसके पास ले जाएंगे तो कुछ ना कुछ कर देता, वो नजर उतार देता तो नजर वो इफेक्ट कम हो जाता. क्या है ये सब? So please try to understand what we are doing in our daily day-to-day situations. If we are, even if we are understanding the other person is in distress or having some mental illness, even if it is ourselves, we are not taking care of ourselves. So now realize that responsibility for ourselves. Thank you, sir. So shall we move on to the next slide, Isha? I have represented this way. We will check out for ourselves what we are trying to do, if we are doing it, if we are also having that mental health or not. We'll be doing this. We'll be checking with this list. Okay, are we moving our body daily? Are we moving from one place to another? Are we sitting in one room, confined to a room? Are we coming out of our room and doing daily activities, taking up daily activities and taking up our daily tasks? Just check it out. If we are not doing, since how long we are not doing, try to think about it, realize it. So if it is for longer period, please approach a doctor or a psychotherapist. So take a break from screen time. So it has become a habit. Even the children nowadays are sitting in front of, because of this lockdown, maybe whatever. Okay, so they are sticking to the mobiles or computers. They are continuously sitting in front of the computers or mobiles. We don't know what they are really doing. If it is a productive thing, that's fine. If it is not productive, so please check out, check with yourselves and also with your children who are spending more time with the screen, like mobiles and computers. This one, state three things I'm grateful for. Write down and say aloud. Write down or say aloud. How is this going to help us? Think and tell. Please think and tell. State three things I'm grateful for. Someone, please, you can unmute your mic and please discuss. Shall I ask Usha? Usha, you can mute. What? You're sure? Yeah. No, I'm not able to hear you. You unmute yourself, Usha. Unmute. Ah.
Yeah, Vivi, you can ask questions, but basically, see, these people ask, I mean, when they answer, we should not deviate from the topic. Only idea is that, like,
Ah.
end of the session, we'll have a question here.
Okay, that's fine. Then I'll be asking you. Tell me why should we feel grateful about the things, three things in our day-to-day life? What does it make any help or any difference?
Yeah, definitely, Vivi. Like, we need to, have that reflection to check where you are this day.
Hmm.
And when you write something, like, once you go back and check back, like, what you have done so far, what you have done, and what are the mistakes you have done that should not be
No, grateful for things which I have.
grateful.
Yeah.
I have eyes, I have a brain, I have a body to move and think and everything.
So what is it going to have an impact on yourself? Tell me. So you are grateful that God has given you beautiful brain to think and beautiful eyes to look at everything positive and say beautiful words, right?
Yeah, I
Wow, that's
absolutely
great.
to connect with all you people, lovely people around
That's
me.
great. That what is the difference it's going to make in our lives? Why should we state three things? Yeah, I have a wonderful friend like you. Oh, thank you. Someone. Saroja. Hi, Saroja. That's fine. So if we are feeling grateful for what we have, it develops a feeling or sense of contentedness or happiness in our life. So if we see that everything we have, how we will be feeling in our lives? Ultimate satisfaction, ultimate contentedness. If we are happy, we are energetic, mentally cool, calm, stable, and socially we are maintaining that good relationship, right? So if we are having three things, if we identify three things for which we are grateful, write them and feel happy that we have them three things. Okay, so please start doing this from this day. Okay, eating vegetables, fruits, and um, nourished, nutritious food helps us to maintain the balance. The minerals should reach our brain. If it gets, the brain gets minerals and oxygen, then the thought process will be very proper. Otherwise, it's going to affect us. Okay, sleep for 7 to 9 hours at night. Most of the people, they are not having this proper sleep pattern. We have our friends, or we might be ourselves are not getting proper sleep during night. It can be for 7 hours to 9 hours. It's okay. Even if you are getting 7 hours proper sleep, that's fine. But then if you are not having this sleep, please approach a doctor. See, this is how you check whether how you're doing in your day-to-day activities. Connect virtually with your friends or family members who are far away from you at least once a week. Do that. You'll feel happy. They will feel happy. There will be a connectedness between you both. Relationship will be maintained. Okay. Your social health is also maintained. Okay. The plan outdoor activity. Confining yourself to your four walls of the house, it is not correct. We should get vitamin D3 from the sun. If you are going out, having an outdoor activity, going for a picnic, you will get the mental relaxation. You will be happy, and the happy hormones makes you feel energetic and maintain the emotional balance. Okay, so set a new goal like finishing a work or school or home project every day or every week. It's a weekly task, right? Set a new goal and complete it, accomplish it in a week. It gives you the feeling of success. If you are having that feeling, you'll feel like an achiever. Ultimate happiness again. Okay, so you can do this. If you are not doing this now, start doing this. Okay. Sense of gratitude, and thank you, sir. Thank you. So you like this slide. Thanks a lot, sir. I want each and every slide as a take home point for you all, sir. That's why I have prepared this. Okay. Claim a win for the week. It can be big or small. Celebrate with a reward. So pat yourselves. There's there's no need for others to congratulate you or celebrate your successes. You can celebrate your own successes. It gives you a higher level of confidence and higher level of self-esteem. If you have that self-esteem, if you have that confidence, you can achieve anything. Nothing is impossible for you. Okay, so do this and then finish. The other things are the task for 1 month. Okay, reading. Finish reading a book. Take a break, 1 day break from all social media and also news. Most importantly, nowadays it is very compulsory thing that you should take a break from news, right? Otherwise we will be getting into chaos. All the stress will creep up into the mind, and then you will be helpless. Try a creative activity, new activity. Help someone or complete a community service project. So you are in a position to help others, you can help others. So try to do that, and you will feel accomplished. You will be mentally, physically healthy with this, doing all these activities, right? And also socially connected with your close people. Shall we move on to the next slide? If you have any questions, you can type it. Shall we move on to the next slide, sir? Okay. So this is all about our mental health awareness till now. We are checking ourselves for, and trying to overcome the issues, mental health issues, and at the same time, we are trying to identify our people, close people, or neighbors who are into distress or any mental health issue. We are trying to identify them and advising them to go for a psychiatric therapy or treatment. Okay. Now let us see how this COVID pandemic has impacted our lives and on both mental health and relationship. Do you think that The as we have discussed earlier, the dimensions of health. It is a physical well-being, mental well-being, and social well-being. Right now, the coronavirus, COVID disease, has we all know, has impacted our physical well-being. It has impacted our respiratory system. It has impacted our circulatory system. It has impacted our liver, kidneys, and it has impacted many people died of this COVID, right? With this physical ill health, it is we are getting impacted emotionally and also the social, our relationships. We all know how this is impacting our mental health. Let us see that all as well. It is creating a lot of stress in our mind. We don't know whether if we can cope up from that. If we are infected with COVID, we have our own doubts, right? This is the situation, uncertainty we are living in now today in in today's situation. Okay, so emotionally we are scared, we are stressed up because of the physical health. It is going to affect the coronavirus. Because we have seen many people dying in front of our eyes with all the complications. Even if one person is infected with corona, because of his fear, see, fear is an emotion. Because of his fear, he is succumbing to the coronavirus and he is dying. This is the panic situation prevailing. Mentally, we are upset because of coronavirus, COVID disease. And ultimately, it is also leading to the social disturbances. If we are not physically well and emotionally not well, how will be our relationships? Just give a thought about it. Please try to think about it. If we have fever, if someone approaches you, you'll not be in a receptive mood because you are not feeling well. You have that some disease or illness, and you can't take someone coming closer to you. You'll just react, repel to the person who is trying to come near to you, right? Maybe you are concerned about that person. Might be. Yes, I agree. Because your infection might also attack him. He might also catch hold of your infection. Maybe that's true. But then it is not the first and foremost reason for your reaction. If you are not physically well, you are reacting to the people around you. Moreover, you have a mental stress. Now tell me, is it not going to affect your social well-being? COVID pandemic has created this situation now. Not only impacted our physical health, it has impacted our mental health, emotional health. We are into stress, we are into fears, we are into phobias, we are into many other mental health issues. We are into depression. Some people have committed suicide because of this depression. COVID, because they lost their jobs, they felt hopeless, they felt helpless, they didn't find any uh, future, so they have committed suicide. Mentally upset, physically already not okay, mentally upset, and then moreover, if someone approaches, हो गया, सोशल रिलेशनशिप के ऊपर भी बहुत ज्यादा असर पड़ गया कोविड के वजह से. Let us see how. This is the observations during the pandemic. Many major international newspapers have written this. The challenge of COVID-19 pandemic is that our stress levels have become higher. Our difficult emotions seem to surface more readily. This not only leads to more conflicts, it leads to unresolved conflicts. So the emotional, when we are emotionally not fine, that impacts our relationships. There is a difference of opinion. What is a conflict? When no two people, generally no two people agree to one point, right? If someone is in distress and he is not in a receptive mood, he speaks something, it goes wrong in wrong direction to the other person, the conflict arises. So because of this stress, it is leading to more conflicts, and those conflicts at the same time are unresolved. They are not resolved, and there is the difference distance between the people, close relationships is increasing. It is creating a lacuna. And we could be facing multiple famines or biblical proportions within a short few months. And the world is not only facing a global health pandemic, but also a global humanitarian catastrophe. The violence has increased, crimes have increased because of this pandemic. It is a general thing which has been observed throughout the world. This is not the news which have come in Indian newspapers, but then it has been observed in many other countries. These are all the news taken from international reports, news reports. Okay, so there is a global humanitarian catastrophe. See the severity of that word. Understand the severity of the word. How the COVID has impacted our lives. As a rise in family violence due to coronavirus virus crisis, is set to strain an already critically overstretched social support system, some abusers are reportedly using COVID as a psychological weapon. So they have started using this for their advantage. So already there is a violence. We know domestic violence cases are there in every country, in India as well. So, but then in this corona situation, COVID situation, this has been used as a psychological weapon by the abusers. See, the people psychology also has changed. Looking at the things has changed. Their perception has changed. Their behavior has changed because of this COVID. So the impact of COVID on our social relationships is to a major extent. Shall we move on to the next slide? Let us see how to overcome these situations, social well-being and healthy relationships. So not only physical health, not only mental health, we should also maintain the social health at the same time to be healthy and to uh, serve the nation and continue the nation as young and productive nation, okay, in the world. So what is social being, well-being? Social well-being is nothing but providing the and receiving the quality support from friends, family, and others. It's not only providing uh, quality support, and at the same time, it is receiving, giving, and taking. You should give, and you should also receive. If you are only giving and you are not receiving anything, it's also not correct. You should give, and you should also have that quality support from the family, from your friends, from the society, from your relatives, and it can be any others of the society, of the social. Okay, so shall we move on to the next slide, Usha? If you are there, I think. Uh, I think Usha has gone offline. Hello.
Madam, 1 minute.
Okay, Nandi. Okay. It's okay.
Okay.
So let us see how well we are connected with our people. It is the support you receive and also the support you give to your family and the friends, which shows how socially healthy you are. Okay.
Madam, there is power cut at Usha's place.
That's fine, sir. I could understand that. Can you share or
Continue the topic, madam. Within 2 minutes, I think I can.
okay? Otherwise,
I'll try to share it, madam.
okay. So as we have seen, observed that there is a rise in domestic violence, there is a rise in conflicts arising in home atmosphere, and also the relationships. It can be any relationship, friendship, or the colleagues relationship between the office people, colleagues. It can be any relationship. Okay, when two people are associated with one common agenda, that forms a relationship, right? So if two people are there in a relationship, it can be a teacher student relationship, it can be any relationship. That means there is a scope for conflict, right? So no two people agree on one point, there will be a conflict. So in this COVID situation, there is an increase in conflict at home atmosphere, in between the relationships, friendship, and any other relationship. So shall we try to analyze what is really causing this conflict? Can you please type your ideas? What is the reason for these conflicts among the people? Am I there? Am I available? Audible? Hello?
Madam, you're audible, madam. You're clear.
Okay. Okay. Please, you can chat in the chat box. I'll see. I'll try to. Anyone? Generally, if we observe, why does a conflict arise? Otherwise, Varaprasad Garu, can you make me as the host?
Actually, Usha is host.
Aha, oh, that's okay.
Now, even I cannot make anything. She has to join and.
Okay, that's fine then.
Madam, this Chakraborty, Konika Paul Chakraborty, madam, you are host now. Can you make Vidya madam as host?
Konika.
Konika. Madam, can you hear me, Konika madam?
Yes, I can hear you. But
can you please make me or Vidya madam host?
Yes, can you just tell me how to do that?
You just click on your name when click on participants.
Okay.
You'll get your name and where path association also is seen there.
Yes.
Can you see path association?
Yes, I can.
Just keep your cursor on that. You'll get more.
Make host.
Press on that more.
Yes.
Then you'll find make host.
I got it. I've done that. Can you see?
Yeah, madam. Thank you. It's done. Give me 1 minute time and I'll do that. Vidya madam, I'm downloading. Give me 2 minutes.
Okay, that's fine.
Madam, can you see the screen now?
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Ah,
Lack of personal contact, ability to read non-verbal, verbal body language can be one of the reasons for rising conflicts. Yes, madam, you are right. You are right. Any other reasons? Lack of communication. Personal contact. Yes.
share. ఎక్కడ అవుతుంది?
Um, okay, let me continue. I'll be discussing about the causes of conflict. Uh, am I audible? Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Oh, that's fine then. So one point, Konika Garu has mentioned that it is lack of proper communication, contact. That's really a good answer. There are many other factors which influence the conflict. We'll be discussing about them. The negative relationships, in relationships mainly, it is lack of communication, misperception or stereotypes, and emotional issues. Like one person, if he's into depression or anxiety, maybe out of stress, he will be talking, he will be frustrated to speak to the people around him. So this may cause some misperception among the people around him, and there is a conflict, right? We generally observe this when a guy who is in his 20s, 27 or 25, out of his employment stress, the stress at his workplace, if he is shouting at the mother or the father, they feel bad, right? They feel bad, and they feel that the guy who is speaking like that has grown up, and he's, you generally know how the parents react for the persons who are trying to talk like that, right? So this is a common observation among the homes generally. So negative behavior, communication and misperception, stereotyping, emotional issues of the people which affect the relationships, right? And then misinformation. If some information, whatever it is, if it is not properly given, then also there is a chance of the conflict arising out of that misinformation. Can you guess one example, like misinformation, if you have faced it at home or at workplace or with your friends? Any example, please quote it. You might have got connected with certain things. Please share it on chat board. Please, you can share it on chat board. Misinformation, lack of information. If we are not providing proper information, then also the conflict arises. And different perspectives and interpretations. If we are going to interpret something, whatever has been communicated in a wrong way, then the conflict arises, right? So misinformation and not having any information, different perspective. We are looking at the things. I look at the things in a different way, and I should not uh, expect that you will also, the other person will also look at the things in the similar way which I am going to see. Right? Your perception, your perspective will be different. My perspective will be different. So this difference of perspective will also create a conflict among the people, among the relationships in home atmosphere, or it can be in a work atmosphere. And then the various interests, my interests are different, my motivations are different, and other people's motivations are different. When these differences are there, there is a difference of opinion. I want to do something, and the other person in my home may want to do else something else, and then we'll sit together for a fight, because, and nothing happens. A conflict is arised, and we don't know whether it will be resolved or not. There will be a gap in the relationship between us both, right? We see generally with the people, children, in this parent and children relationship, we generally see this type of the child wants to do something and the parents want something, right? The child looks at the things differently and the parent has experienced it differently. See, both are correct in their own ways. The parent has experienced it, so they are trying to tell the children. But then the child is not ready because he wants to do something and his looking at the things is different. His perspective is different. Because he is now in the present situation, the parents are in the from the past situation. There is a gap, generation gap, which is creating a gap between the relationships. So because of the conflict. So this is how it affects the relationship, right? Am I audible? I think my connection is proper, right?
It's okay, madam. I can hear.
Okay. Shall we continue? Otherwise, we'll be running short of time. That's why I'm continuing, even without the uh, PPT. That's fine. I have my own PPT, so uh, uh, shall I continue?
Can
Okay.
can you see PPT now, madam?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I can see the PPT.
Is it okay now?
Yes, yes, it is okay. Move on to the other slides. I think it is your relationship. This slide. I'm in this slide. Yeah. Now coming to the structures. No, sir. Ide, sir. Ide.
Okay, madam.
Okay. Unclear responsibilities, power imbalances, and the systems and constraints in constraints or inequities, resources, time, and others. This also adds up to the conflicts. The previous slides, ikkade unchanu, sir. Ikkade unchanu. Different ideologies, different views, different criteria for and different decisions which we take, value systems. I believe in certain values, in certain things, the other person will not be having that similar respect for that what I am believing in. So this creates a difference of opinion, and this will create a conflict. So this is how a conflict among the relationship rises. So now when we identify that there is a conflict, what we are going to do, how to deal about with this conflict. Okay. Okay. Shall we move on to the next slide? And moreover, our mood, our personal and outside factors also influence in creating a conflict between the relationship. Okay. Shall we know? Right, sir. Antakumundu, ఐదు ఉంచండి, sir. ఐదు ఉంచండి. How to manage a conflict if it arises? First of all, we should be in a position to accept that there is a conflict between us both. As I was telling you, we have different belief systems. We think that it is quite natural. The parent will shout at the child because the child is not listening to the parent. But then the child is having some other thought in his mind. He he is feeling sad because the parent is not agreeing to what he is trying to communicate. Okay, and then the parent wants to win over. Maybe he feels, the child will feel that the parents wants to win over him because they are elder to him, and then they have the power to impose on the child. See, the perspective has changed here. It's an only example I'm trying to quote here. There is a conflict, and the conflict is in the mind of the child. Maybe it didn't reach till the parent, but then the conflict has arisen. So now the conflict has arisen, and the parent is trying to understand that the boy or the child is trying to maintain the distance, He is not so cool as he was earlier because of this conflict, because the child was upset. The mother thinks or the parent thinks that the child is upset because they had a discussion previous night. So if the parent is not identifying or understanding that the conflict has arisen, then can it be resolved? No, it can't be resolved because she doesn't think it is a problem. If we don't understand that it is a problem, we'll not try to resolve that problem, right? We'll not make an attempt to resolve that problem. It is a general tendency. But then if it is a conflict, it is creating a issue between the relationships. If we don't identify, understand that it is creating a problem in the relationship, then are we going to react about it? No, we don't react because we are not understanding, we are not accepting that fact. We don't move on. We are just stuck there, thinking that the boy has misunderstood and it will take some time for him to understand us because we are more experienced. Accept the fact that there is the conflict has arisen. If remember, it is I agree to it that the no two people has similar idea, opinion about an issue. Two people in a relationship will generally have a conflict, so please accept that and identify that there has been a conflict arise out of this discussion in day-to-day life, whatever it can be. Maybe he wants to join MPC and the parents want him to join BIPC for a student who is in intermediate. It's a general example we generally see around us, right? In every neighborhood, we see that the problem has started here. And you will see it where it ends in future because the parent is not accepting that there has been a conflict in their relationship. So, to avoid that ultimate step, please identify the first step, which has been which is a misstep actually. Misstep we have laid. ఒక రాంగ్ స్టెప్ మనం వేసామన్నది మనం it doesn't, it should not affect the ego of the parent. It is for the good of the relationship, right? So second thing is, when you identify that there is a problem and there is a conflict which arises out of that discussion, you have to try to understand what exactly had happened. So listen to actively, attentively to the person. You sit and talk. Proper communication, personal contact, non-verbal and verbal communication is the most important thing. You can speak, the child will speak. Not only the child, I'm not talking about only one particular relationship here. It can be any relationship, even if it is a husband-wife relationship, even if it is a mother-in-law, daughter-in-law relationship, anything it can be. First, one should be in a position to accept that there has been a conflict arised. So then there should be an openness to resolve that conflict. For that, one should listen to the other person attentively, actively. Active listening means what? It means not only listening to the verbal cues. It doesn't mean only listening to the verbal cues. It also involves the non-verbal cues, silence, emotions, expressions, the gaps between what we are speaking. All these things makes a matter. How the other person is feeling. Please try to understand his situation. Have that empathy towards each other. This is a relationship, right? Mutual thing. If you listen, the other person will also listen. If you have the empathy, the other person will also have the empathy. If you both are willing to resolve this conflict, then only the things can happen. See, reveal, listen, then only the understanding will happen. One says, you listen. You say, the other person listens. Then when active listening happens, then only the understanding happens between the people. So when active listening and when understanding happens, the uh, thought process changes, the perception changes, the openness creeps into the mind. Then we can think what can be done to resolve the issue. Once the openness comes to the mind, then only we can resolve the issue. Shall we move on to the next slide, Prasad? Right. Now the time comes for analyzing about the conflict. Now you are listening, he is revealing. You are revealing, he is listening. The other person is revealing. There is an understanding happening in between both of you. So now you have identified that there is a conflict arised out of the discussion or situation. So you both are open to resolve the issue. So now analyze the conflict. Why the conflict has triggered. Analyze means you have to explore what exactly had happened, where from this conflict has arisen. So you are trying to resolve that particular issue. There is a goal for you now in your hands to resolve your conflict, right? Ultimate goal is to maintain a beautiful relationship. So you have to analyze, understand who are you angry with, what are you not getting that you wanted. So these are all the questions you can ask yourselves when you are into a conflict with other person. Okay. So what are you afraid of losing? What's your expectation out of this? What's that you are going to lose? What is that you are going to shut down? So you have to analyze everything for yourselves. Okay. Is your conflict accurate or over exaggerated? That is the most important. You feel no one is ready to take the blame. No, it is not a blame. No one is ready to accept the responsibility that the situation has been overly exaggerated. Someone might have reacted more than what is required, but then the person is not ready to accept. The person is not ready to take up that responsibility. 1 minute, sir. Usha Ram Kumar is calling. Let me see why. 1 minute, excuse me. Hello, Usha. Yeah, yeah. It's okay. It's okay. I'm still in the session, yaar. Let me continue. Please. I'm sorry. Okay, bye. Bye. Uh, they have a power cut, it seems, so she could not continue with the session. That's what she was telling. I'm sorry. Take your time. Let me continue. So this is how you have to be one, even if it is between the people who are around you, two people around you, you can help them in this way. You can be a mediator or the catalyst to resolve their issue, right? And restore their normal relationship. Okay, so we can really manage our conflict. We can come out of that conflict and maintain good relationship with the people around us. Ultimately, what we are aiming at is our social health. Okay, so shall we move on to the next slide, Prasad Garu? Yeah. When we are trying to resolve the issue, we should not use the inflammatory words like I know you will be doing all these things. No, don't call with names, don't exaggerate the situation. There's no need, because what is your goal? You are working for your goal. So okay, for that there's no need to use these language, not at all required. You can maintain the neutral language, you can use the neutral language. It how does this neutral language help us in resolving a conflict? It gives the other person, it makes the other person feel that they are being respected. If you respect the other person, if you are unconditionally giving your respect towards the other person, you will observe the uh, mm, what you will get back from him. It is respect, giving respect and taking respect, right? You always, if you give, you will get it back in whatever it might be the way. Okay, maybe sometimes it becomes late, and then, but then you will definitely get it back. So don't use the inflammatory language. Don't judgmentally uh, converse with a person. You have done wrong, I'm right, you will be doing all these things, and I have been observing all these things. No, don't use those language at all. Okay, try to be neutral. You can resolve the issue. Right. Separate the person from the problem. We observe this in relationship issues generally. The like relationship issues means love affairs or husband and wife. Okay, the people will say that earlier. Uh, I'll give you one case study as an example for this. Actually, one girl, she said that her boyfriend appears to be more protective, more possessive nowadays. Nowadays, I asked her, since how long has been your relationship? You are in this relationship. She said 4 years. She has been in relationship with him since 4 years, and now she feels that he is overprotective and over possessive about her, and she can't take it anymore. That's why she wanted to break it up. So I asked her, was he not like this earlier when your relationship started with him? That at that time what she said it was so pleasing for me. I felt very comfortable. I thought he's loving me more, so I felt like very happy for whatever he used to. But then later on, I observed him that he is too possessive, and he doesn't want me to talk to someone else. The person is really having a mental health issue. He was suspicious, no doubt in it. But then perception has changed. Earlier, it was not like that, and now it is like this. The same old person. See, it is a just example. The case is entirely different. But then I'm just quoting this example because uh, generally the people tend to uh, say this words like, I can't take this person anymore. The problem is not with the person. The problem is different, and the person is different. You have to separate both. Then only you can identify that the behavior is because of the issue. You can identify that the person is genuine because of the issue, because of the situation. He might be behaving like that. If you resolve this issue, then the person is okay for you. Okay, so this helps us to prevent the separation or breaking up of relationships. So separate the person from the problem. View the problem as a specific behavior setup or set of circumstances rather than attributing the negative feelings to the whole person. Okay, if the person is really mentally ill, that is a different question altogether. But when it is not like that, when the person is genuine and the person is not having any mental health issue, because of the set of behaviors which he is showing, you can't attribute the negative to the person and say, I can't take this anymore and I want to divorce him. No. So separate the person from the problem and work together. Okay, so it is not a blame game. Conflict, okay, it's not a blame game. Take up the responsibility for each other, for towards yourselves and towards the relationship. So you have both have to work together for our ultimate goal, that is resolution. Okay, so shall we move on to the next slide, sir? I i think I'm taking much of your time. I think this is the last slide. Sir, Varaprasad garu, agree to disagree. No two people are alike. Varaprasad garu, second, next slide, please. Agree to disagree. Each person has a unique point, and conflict resolution is not like a court of law in which uh, one is a person who has committed a crime and the other is innocent. No, it is not like that. We are not going to judge a situation or a relationship or two people, but it is everyone has their own point, everyone is correct in their own point. So even if it is like that, agree to disagree, that's fine. Ultimately what you want is the conflict resolution, right? There should, your relationship with the other person should be intact, it should be good. So uh, respect him, even if he is not right, even if he has done wrong, even if you are not wrong, even if you are not wrong, you can apologize because your goal is to resolve the issue. You can apologize. It's not going to make you feel low or make yourself less in front of him. No. Okay? So focus on the future. Whatever might be the past, ultimately you want to lead the relationship. You are a social being, you want relationships to be in their place, you want everyone else support. So even if a conflict arises, the person, it is not because of the person, it is because of the situation. Maybe when you are separating the situation from the person, you are working towards the resolution of the conflict. It should be aimed so that your future will also be free of all these conflicts. This is how you can manage your own conflicts. So if you have any questions, please ask me. You can feel free to ask me any question. Hope this session helped you to get some idea about your mental health. Thank you. And the conflicts arising in this COVID situation mainly.
Ma'am, can I stop the PPT?
PPT, yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. And then it can be a discussion. Maybe is it a discussion slot now? Okay. Any questions, please?
Okay, madam. I think
ఏమన్నా క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉంటే అడగొచ్చండి. ఏం లేవన్నారా? ఆల్మోస్ట్ సగం అంతా వెళ్ళిపోయారు ఆల్రెడీ. 12 members నుంచి 9 members.
పవర్ ప్రాబ్లం వల్ల కూడా 2-3 సార్లు అయింది మేడం. Sorry for the inconvenience. Still, you have done with patience, and we have to thank you for that. And lot of patience you are having, madam.
It's a wonderful opportunity for me as well. Actually, చెప్పాలంటే I was so enthusiastic. I just wanted to share many things, but then 7:15 అయిపోయింది, 6:30 కాస్త 7:15 అయిపోతుంది. కొంచెం ఆరష్ కూడా ఉండింది నాకు. I had to finish it off.
మా వల్ల కంటిన్యూటీ దెబ్బతింది మేడం.
పర్వాలేదు సార్, ఇట్ హ్యాపెన్స్ సమ్టైమ్స్. ఇట్ హ్యాపెన్స్ బికాస్ ఎంత వానగా ఉంది చూడండి, 3 days heavy rains. It happens. That's fine. Hope everyone had some input in inside.
Definitely. Wherever it is possible.
It was a wonderful session, madam. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you.
But the only difficulty which I faced was there was sessions where you were speaking in the local language which I could not follow. So I thought,
your voice is breaking. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm able to hear you, but then sometimes it is breaking. So can you repeat the point?
What I was saying, it was a wonderful session, very informative.
Thank you.
But there were some sections where you were speaking in the local language which I could not understand.
Oh.
That was the only thing.
Okay.
But it was a very nice session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm sorry for that. I thought most of the people are from Hyderabad. I think you can talk to me. If you want, I can share my number. You can.
Yes, that would be great. If you could share your number, please.
Okay. My number. Shall I share, Varaprasad?
Madam, you can. I'll make you host.
Okay.
Till it was mostly in English only, madam.
Madam, please, Varaprasad, can you share? Okay. Okay. I'll message her. Actually, I can message it to her directly, right? Madam, I have shared my number. You can call me.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Adam, thank you very much. So kind of you, and a lot of material you have prepared, and lot of things. This is self-clarification where many doubts are clarified.
Okay.
And thanks for your patience and being with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. You'll end the session, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes.